at council.nyc.gov. Written testimony may be submitted up to. Please indicate the LU number and/or project name in the subject line of your email. We request that witnesses joining us remotely remain in the meeting until you are excused by myself, as council members may have questions. Lastly, for everyone attending today's meeting, this is a government proceeding, and decorum must be observed at all times. Members of the public are asked not to speak during the meeting unless you are testifying. The witness table is reserved for people called to testify, and no video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcript of such recording to the Sergeant-at-Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. I will now open the public hearing on LU 297 relating to the Coney Development Proposal in Councilmember Brandon's district in Brooklyn. I want to note up front, as I've stated before, it is important to clarify that the proposal to license up to 3 downstate gaming facility is a state initiative, and that the state is leading the process to decide which proposals are awarded a license. This state-led process will consist of 3 steps to begin later this year. First is a review by the Community Advisory Committee, or CAC, followed by a review of the Gaming Facility Location Board, and final decision is issued by the State Gaming Commission. It is important to note that the CAC process will provide another opportunity for public input about the merits of each casino proposal. A decision by the state is expected at the end of the year. The Coney development proposal is here today under the council review because gaming license applicants are required to have received the necessary local land use approval in order to compete for a state license in the first place. So to be very clear, we are not here today to decide whether there should be a casino in Coney Island. We are here today to determine whether that requested land use approval, which is a request to amend the city map, is appropriate. The applicant seeking approval to amend the city map in 4 ways to demap a portion of Bowery, demap and purchase 2 volumes of air, 1 over a portion of West 12th Street, 1 over a portion of Stillwell Avenue, and change the grade of a portion of Stillwell Avenue. The action being discussed today does not authorize the applicant to actually build a casino. Whether the applicant may ultimately build a casino is a question that the state will ultimately decide later this year. Having made these clarifying remarks, for anyone wishing to testify on this item remotely, if you have not already done so, you must register online by visiting the council's website at council.nyc.gov/landuse. For anyone with us in person, please see one of the Sergeant-at-Arms to submit a speaker's card. And if you're filling out a speaker's card, please make sure to indicate whether you are testifying in favor or in opposition. As always, if you would prefer to submit written testimony, you may do so by emailing it to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. I would now like to recognize Councilmember Brandon for his remarks.
Thank you, Chair Riley. Good morning, everyone. I'm Councilmember Justin Brannon, and I proudly represent Coney Island in the New York City Council. Coney Island has always stood as a beacon of excitement, imagination, and possibility, a symbol of egalitarianism and grit, a place of resilience and reinvention. It is the original people's playground. It's a very special place rooted in entertainment, equity, big dreams, and endless opportunity. 3 months a year, when the weather is nice, the entire world descends upon Coney Island. People across the world dream of one day traveling to New York just to ride the Cyclone and the Wonder Wheel. They dream of traveling just to touch the sand, to go for a stroll on the world-famous boardwalk and smell the salty sea breeze. But it's my job to represent Coney Island for the other 9 months a year, too. Don't get me wrong, we love the tourists and their tax dollars, but it's my responsibility and my honor to do what's best for the hardworking people who call Coney Island their home 12 months a year and not just when the weather is nice. While we anticipate the proposal to bring a casino to the area will represent a significant private investment that could create quality permanent jobs, generate year-round economic activity, and bring much-needed investments and revenue to our community, I must at the same time acknowledge the valid concerns that have been raised by so many of my constituents, including issues related to traffic, public safety, and the broader social impacts that casinos come along with. I think everyone needs to fully understand the overall consequences of opening a casino in a community, so the real-life, real-world risk-benefit analysis here is everything. A development of this scale must first and foremost benefit the people who live here and not burden them. Lastly, casinos are not a magic fix that will solve all local and statewide fiscal challenges. So all of these concerns deserve serious attention, and I look forward to addressing them in greater detail today. To be clear, as Chair Riley said, the application we are considering today is not to approve or deny a casino in Coney Island. That decision ultimately lies with the New York State Gaming Commission, and the state authority can only make that decision after the conclusion of the work of the Community Advisory Committee that will be convened if this development team's application for a casino license is filed with the state later this month. If this application moves forward, the Community Advisory Committee will present an opportunity for robust community engagement and feedback about the merits of having this casino in Coney Island or not. I am sure all local stakeholders will rigorously engage in this New York State process, and I look forward to that continued engagement. While this action before us today is an important one, it is not the end of the process or the end of the public engagement regarding the casino proposal or the future of Coney Island. What is before the City Council today are street mapping actions that would allow the casino application to be considered by these state authorities for one of the 3 gaming facility licenses that are available. And let us be clear, every land use action this council has taken regarding any of the casinos throughout the 5 boroughs is contingent on actually getting a gaming license from the state. Simply put, if a casino applicant is denied a casino license or does not file for a license, the land use action disappears and the zoning remains exactly what it is today. I appreciate the opportunity to continue this dialogue today and to hear from all the stakeholders. I want to thank my constituents who have stayed engaged throughout this process thus far, and to everyone joining us today for their thoughtful contributions to this very important conversation around the future of Coney Island. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Brandon. I just want to state for the record, we're joined remotely by Councilmember Abreu and in the room with Councilmember Carr and Salam. I will now call the applicant panel for this proposal, which consists of Jody Stein, Sarah Davis, Kaveh Saxena, Peter McKinney, Paul Pippin, Sam Garrity, Robert Cornegy, and Eva Schneider. Council, can you please administer the affirmation?
Applicants, I'll ask you all to raise your right hands, state your name for the record when I ask you in order the affirmation. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this subcommittee and in answer to all council member questions? Jody Stein. Sarah Davis. Kaveh Saxena. Peter McEnany. Paul Pippin. Sam Garrity. Sam Garrity. Sorry, did I hear Paul Pippin is here or? Okay. Mr. Cornegy. Eva Schneider.
Thank you. For the viewing public, if you need an accessible version of this presentation, please send an email request to landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov. And now the applicant team may begin. Please state your name and organization for the record before you begin.
Hi, thank you so much.
You could turn the mic on, please. Thank you.
That would be helpful. Thank you so much, Chair Riley, Councilman Brannon, the rest of the committee. My name is Jody Stein. I'm with Shepard Mullen. I'm here with my colleagues at the table, Sarah Davis from FX and Robert Cornegy. We're here to present the Coney. Next slide, please. I just want to take a moment, if I could, to tell you about our team, which is a a partnership with Global Gaming, Thor Equities, Saratoga, and Legends, and then we have an amazing team of great consultants. Next slide, please. I'm going to turn it over now to FX, which is the amazing architect on this project, and Sarah Davis.
Thanks, Jody. Hi, I'm Sarah Davis with FX Collaborative. You could go to the next slide. On the screen, you can see the proposed site here outlined in red. There's 4 blocks that make up the project site. You can see it's very centrally located among a lot of the parks and existing amusements of Coney Island. That arc that you see in the middle of the screen is Surf Avenue, just to give you some orientation, and then, of course, the boardwalk and the beach to the south. Next slide, please. We wanted to show you our process, and really that starts looking back at the history of Coney Island. And these images on the screen really represent what was described about how the character of Coney Island in its history. The architecture has a monumental scale, right? It's activated year-round. It has a presence in the events going on. There's also historically a casino that was in Coney Island. So as noted, it was People's Playground, and that's where we're drawing some inspiration. On the next slide, you'll see unfortunately the dark moment that the community has a lot of destruction and deterioration, and where it was really blighted. And this was a moment where a lot of that monumental character is no longer existing. On the next slide, you can see it in today, that this is rebounding. It is a community of resiliency. So you can see the activation that is going on today with the amusements, with the character and the threat of the community, with the representation of various establishments, and things like the aquarium and the theater and the stadium that are really drawing folks from all around the world. So on the next slide, our task is to really continue in that hard work and to continue that vibrancy and to restore the historic Coney Island waterfront today. On the next slide, we really are drawing upon the inspiration of the current vibrancy that we see throughout those 3 months of the year where Coney Island is very active. And then also the monumental character and giving this an ongoing presence with some architecture as well. So these are some of the images that we were drawing upon. Taking a look at the next slide, we want to highlight the key drivers that we've been focusing on for the project. It is to create a year-round destination, to really, as part of that destination and allowing for that vibrancy year-round, to generate careers that support that growth. We understand the importance of doing this responsibly and focusing on resiliency efforts and sustainability in the project development, and all of this to culminate in serving as a gateway for the entire district, and understand the central location and the key place that this is anchoring. The next slide, you'll see the image of the existing entertainment district, and you can see some of the color and the vibrancy of the rides and the streetscape. On the next slide, what we're really trying to do is enhance that, right? And you can see what we're proposing as the project program. Listed on the screen are all of the different program aspects. We can go into a lot more detail if there are questions about all of the program here, but they're a great synergy that helps support one another and aim to reach those project goals.
Just going to the next slide, we want to take a look at why we're here, which is the mapping application. So if we can go to the next slide, we just want to take you through what has already been done in the area. So if you take a look at the red and the pink, which is on the left-hand side, West 15th Street, the red street, and then in the middle, Stillwell Avenue, and then on the right, West 12th Street, and then in the pink, which goes across from left to right, is Wonder Wheel Way. That has already been demapped, and you can see within that area are the existing amusements that will remain. In the yellow, which you will see is kind of in the air, those are the volumes of air above both Stillwell Avenue to the left, and then on the right, West 12th Street, that we're seeking to demap. And then in the middle, on Bowery, between Stillwell Avenue and West 12th Street, is that area of Bowery that we're seeking to demap, which the applicant actually owns. On the next slide, you can actually see it in plan, so it's laid out quite clearly. And then in the next slide, you can see it actually in rendering. So you can see on the left-hand side with an A above it, that's the Stillwell Bridge, where the volume of air above Stillwell would be. And then where it says B is the West 12th Street volume of air, where the West 12th Street Bridge is located. On the next slide, we can see it in section. So this is the volume of air that in the box outlined in red that is on Stillwell Avenue. And you can see the bridge is quite smaller than the volume of air, but the volume of air is outlined in red. And then going to the next slide, you can actually see the volume of air outlined both in red and in blue. So while we were at the City Planning Commission, they asked us to make the volume of air smaller on West 12th Street. So we raised the lower limiting plane by 20 feet. And so the lower limiting plane and the actual volume of air is now the one that we're seeking is outlined in blue. So moving to the next slide, we're also seeking to raise the elevation of Stillwell Avenue between Surf Avenue and Wonder Wheel Way. We're only seeking to raise it about 1/4 of an inch to 2 feet. And that's just for some flood mitigation in the area because we're building our building above the flood elevation, so it will allow the street to actually meet the building needs. And then just moving forward on the next slide, we wanted to talk a bit about the public experience and what they see and the community benefits that this project will bring. So I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah.
Thanks, Jody. So on the next slide, we just want to give you some images about what the public experience might be. Of course, landing at the subway stop at the Stillwell Surf intersection. This is at the platform where you can see this gateway that really drawing folks towards the amusements and towards the boardwalk. On the next slide, this is to just understand that gesture that we're really seeking to make a monumental entrance and a gateway into this community. So you can see the historic reference and then our proposed new project to the left. Next, you'll see kind of an overall rendering again, and this is looking from the boardwalk or the south towards the project. Through the center there, you can see where we're proposing the improvements to Stillwell and making that a pedestrianized area, really to allow for more space that are free of any vehicular access to pedestrians that get from Surf all the way to the areas that are currently demapped and into the boardwalk. Further enhancing that is an access up to open roof space that you can see here in the green line that takes you up from the street level, completely all outside of the casino, up to an open roof space that's available for the public to use. On the next slide, you'll have a closer look of what that's proposed. It's an area that's open to the public, full of landscape, vibrancy, and a space for the community to really have access for public art and so forth. So to kind of continue on the benefits for the community, the next slide starts to outline some of those.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to reiterate my thank you to both chairs Brennan and Riley and the council members that are in attendance, Salam, Carr, and Abreu. This point, just the direct some of the direct benefits to the community are a $200 million community trust fund, which has a board of directors, which will have a board of directors comprised of community leaders, stakeholders, to guide the funding decisions for the local benefits. We've also partnered with Brooklyn.org, which is a nonprofit that does these disbursements and has a long history throughout the city, but certainly with the Brooklyn Chamber and the Brooklyn Borough President, it has a really rich history of making sure that these allocations meet the needs of the community. Community grants, boardwalk improvements, neighborhood safety and security, creation of new open spaces, or improve the existing spaces, workforce development, resiliency and environmental protection, and public art. We've also had the pleasure of, over 2 years, getting the buy-in and partnership with colleges in the immediate area and in the borough, and with schools to provide training programs, high schools as well. The jobs, we've gone over this several times, but I think it's important to note that there are 4,500 union construction jobs and 4,000 permanent gaming and hospitality union jobs with a local hiring preference. We've already scheduled and have had meetings with local NYCHA presidents to talk about job fairs in those areas to ensure that people in the immediate area have access to those jobs. Other improvements that haven't much been talked about, but are long-term components to the resiliency of the area are flood resiliency at Stillwell Avenue, 1 acre of rooftop open space for public use, accessible from street level, so you don't have to go through the casino to use that public space. Increased lighting and surveillance for safety, and convention space for community events.
That's great. On the next slide. I just wanted to walk you through the vehicular circulation slide a little bit. So as we've talked about, Stillwell Avenue is going to be completely pedestrianized, and that process has actually been completed already with our environmental application. So because Stillwell Avenue, which is a 100-foot wide street, has been pedestrianized through this process, cars are going to be coming in along Surf Avenue either way, and they're going to come down on this orange, if you can tell, the orange and pink lines, which are on West 12th Street towards the right of the screen. They'll come in and they'll go through the porte cochere or the circle. They'll either drop off in a valet or they'll self-park themselves, and they'll go into the parking lot, which is located within the project itself. When people go to pick up their cars, they'll go within the parking garage within the project, and they'll pick up their cars. They'll actually drive through the Stillwell Avenue Bridge, and they'll come out on West 15th Street, which is on the left-hand side of the screen, never crossing on the ground floor of Stillwell Avenue, so the pedestrians and the vehicles never have a conflict. So they'll go up in the air and over and out on 15th Street back onto Surf Avenue. Buses will also be coming in through West 15th Street. There's a bus lobby. People who exit and enter in the bus lobby, they can go right into the project, or they can go right into towards the boardwalk. Tenants who have either rides or need access to their booths within the entertainment district, they can go through, as they always have, on West 12th or West 15th Street through the lighter blue line. And then emergency access can be provided along Stillwell Avenue, which is pedestrian, but obviously emergency vehicles can access it, as well as on Jones Walk, West 12th Street, West 15th Street. And so there's really access for everyone in this vehicular access plan. Next slide, please.
Wait, before you go forward, Jody, I think it's important to note as a community benefit also, those people who are from Coney Island, who've traveled to Coney Island, know that the parking is absolutely horrible. We've had preliminary conversations with local small businesses for them to be able to use the public parking space in a way almost as a, not as a valet, but as a, how do we describe that?
Well, they can get validated.
Yes, they can actually, if you're dining in IHOP or using any of the local public restaurants, which suffer tremendously, we've been told, from the ability to access their customers because of parking, they would be able to do that in the facility.
So, and there's 1,500 parking spaces, so there will be plenty of parking provided within the project. But some of the proposed transit improvements, we are, as Councilman Brannan certainly knows, we are seeking and we are continuing to advocate for a ferry service with our local elected officials. We are also advocating for express subway service, which used to exist in the area. We're going to be providing shuttle service from major downtown hubs, such as the downtown Brooklyn, downtown Manhattan, Flushing, Queens, and airports. We'll be providing employee incentives so that employees do not take their own vehicles, but use public transportation to get to work. We will also be providing off-site improvements, such as providing signage from the Belt Parkway and other local intersections to disperse traffic throughout the neighborhood. We'll be providing signal timing changes and actuation, and creating new turning lanes. We'll be providing pedestrian safety improvements. We will also be adding a traffic lane with the applicant's own property on West 12th Street. So instead of having the 3 lanes that exist today, it will become a 4-lane street by using some of the applicant's property to create a 4th lane on West 12th Street to allow more traffic to come into that street. We'll be providing traffic attendants to assist with the traffic flow to make sure that it flows smoothly on and off of Surf Avenue. We're also providing a 100-foot pedestrian throughway on Surf Avenue, which is right across from Stillwell subway station, which is a very heavily utilized subway station, especially during the summer months. So that will be a huge benefit to the area and a gateway into the Coney Island Entertainment District, especially to the boardwalk and to the beach. And we are providing, as well as the 1-acre open rooftop space, which will be a benefit to all pedestrians that enter into the area. And then next slide. And then that is the end of our presentation, and we are happy to take any questions that you might have.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to ask a few questions that I'm going to turn over to Councilmember Brandon to ask his questions. What will happen at the development site if the Coney development project does not receive one of the 3 downstate gaming licenses?
There is no plan at this time for anything to happen at the site, meaning that the actions that's before you will not take place.
If this land use action is approved, what is the immediate next step for this proposal and your team?
If this land use action is approved, we'll go through the CAC process, and we'll continue to submit our supplemental application, because the land use action is required for the supplemental application with the state, and we hope to be chosen for a casino license.
And we'll continue to outreach to the community to get their input.
Given Coney Island's vulnerability to flooding and climate events, how is this proposal being designed to improve local infrastructure and increase neighborhood resiliency?
So we are taking measures to offer this facility as a resilience hub. There are a lot of venues that offer that type of flexibility, such as the multi-use venue at the top that could be used for community outreach as a safe place for meeting in the event of an incident, the climate. There's a number of different actions that we're looking at that would offer for that resiliency hub within the facility.
So I know a lot of community concern tends to raise concerns about casinos in general when it comes to crime, addiction, and other negative secondary effects, especially within the area that you guys are planning to build this casino. A lot of families in the area, so there's a lot of concern from the community. What specific initiatives or investments are proposed here in regards to those concerns by the community for prevention and public safety?
Well, clearly lighting. Any crime prevention professional will tell you that where there is more lighting and more activity, it actually decreases crime, not increases crime. So we've actually consulted with some of the top law enforcement professionals in the city and have gotten and doubled down on the fact that actually what happens in a situation like this is crime actually decreases. Like I said, because of lighting, because of activity, it is less likely to have more crime. That's documented.
Is there anything else that you guys are projecting?
We will have space for NYPD, FDMI, and EMS on site. And then we will be having all the programs that any of the partners have for their casinos, supports for all help that's needed for any assistance for any addictions that would be provided. And I think that's a big part of their programs in all their facilities. And we have one of the biggest casino operators in the country, so this is a big part of their program and safety of the customers.
I do believe that these are great additions to address public safety, but I do believe that there's so much more that you guys could do, specifically in this area if you are going to be the ones obtaining this license. So I would insist, and I know the former council member mentioned that you're going to be connecting with the community a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure light and NYPD presence are really good, but there are so much other things that could be added to this to address those concerns for the community.
We're really open to having those discussions
Thank
and
you.
continuing that.
What are the anticipated impacts of the proposal on existing small businesses in the surrounding area?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry.
What are the anticipated impacts of the proposal on existing small businesses in the surrounding area?
Robert, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so we anticipate that those impacts will be improved. One, because we've already stated how to provide parking for customers at local businesses, but also we're prepared to drive customers out into the community with incentives as well. So we know that characteristically, it's been stated that people insulate themselves in these kind of developments. We're prepared and ready and are coming up with strategic and plans to drive customers of the Coney back into the community with incentives.
Thank you. I'm going to yield to Councilmember Brandon to ask his lines of questioning.
Thank you, Chair. I had one first question. The on-site improvements with adding the traffic lane on West 12th, do you have renderings of that?
Yes.
Do you have it with you?
Yes.
Is it in the package?
Yeah, I think probably the best, Arthur, maybe the vehicular circulation. It's a little hard to see, but on the vehicular circulation, page 26,
Yeah.
you can see a fourth lane. There's 3 lanes on the right side of the pink arrow is a fourth lane.
Okay. I'd like to if you could do an actual rendering of that. I'd like to see it. It's hard to visualize.
No problem.
Can you tell us to date how much money have you invested in the community, and in terms of talk a little bit about how the team is engaged with local residents and community stakeholders, and thus far have any changes been made to the proposal in response to feedback that you've heard?
You can speak to the changes, but I don't have a number, a monetary number, but I can tell you that we've been for the last 2 years instituting the programs that the community has demanded, and those have primarily been for young people and for seniors. So when asked over these 2 years how they'd like to see programs, primarily around sports, right? Because anybody who knows Coney Island knows that it's a sports hub. And has been, especially for basketball and volleyball and baseball. We've actually listened to the community and only did and instituted programs that the community demanded over this 2-year, 3-year period. If you'd like me to get back to you, Councilmember, on an actual number, I can give you an actual number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you talk
But I can tell you that it's significant.
Can you talk to some of the changes that have been made based on the feedback you've heard over the past 2 years?
Yeah. So with regard to some of the changes, we have been working with, I would say, we've been listening to the community as well as city agencies for 2 years. We have had many, I know Sarah has worked on all of them, iterations of this plan. I believe you've seen some of them where, we've had 2 hotel towers, we've had 1 hotel tower, we've had hotel towers on one side and other sides. We've had many iterations, and we've had parking, we've had less parking, we've had more parking, we've had bridges that had no vehicles going over them, we've had vehicles going throughout the site. So there have been many iterations. We're happy to share the plans with you of those iterations, but it's been quite a lot. We've spent a lot of time with many different versions of this project to get to where we are, especially as I'm sure working with DOT to get to a place where, everything works between the pedestrians and the vehicles and for the community and the views in particular.
I think it's also important to note that we've listened to the community and the small businesses who operate those 3 months out of the year and have provided, based on their campus, the ability for them to be incorporated going forward to operate 12 months out of the year. So if you look at, the design, the casino is not on the first floor for 2 reasons primarily. One is we don't want young people to be able to walk in off the street, so as a security measure, but also we'd like that first floor to be able to incorporate those businesses who only find themselves able to operate if they would like to be incorporated in the project. And I think we arrived at that after constant conversations with those attractions operators and with the community, wanting to make sure that there was some authenticity in the project by allowing them to be incorporated if they saw fit.
It's a very outwardly facing project with retail surrounding pretty much every side of the project to try and bring people through the project to the entertainment district and to the beach and boardwalk.
So with your immediate neighbors there, the Cyclone, the Wonder Wheel, and Coney Island USA, the sideshow, are they all supportive of the casino?
Do you want to?
No, everybody hasn't been supportive of the project. But
Do you
when
want to-
when you think about the holistic way that casinos operate these days, and you have to your left the aquarium, and to your right the stadium, it's actually becoming incredibly more family friendly as a venue. Right, and so we're talking primarily about the casino, but there's also 500 Key Hotel. There's also a world-class entertainment venue that's incorporated in the project. So the casino is a portion of it, and you can't get around to speaking about it. But incorporating into the fabric of Coney Island, where you have the ballpark and the aquarium, that's much more family friendly. All of these other rides and attractions makes it actually an
Do
entertainment
the
destination.
aquarium and the Cyclone folks support it?
Yes. Yes.
Peter,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Peter McAnini would
Yep.
like to
No, I
say.
would say the aquarium is supportive. We've met many times with our neighbors, Justin, as you know, and we're working hard to.
Sorry, real quick. Everyone, we're going to get your time to give your testimony. We're just going to have them testify. If you want to do a rebuttal, do it during your testimony, please, okay? Thank you so much. Councilman Brandon?
Yeah, I would just say, as it relates to our direct neighbors, we've spent a lot of time over the last 2 years, as Jody and Sarah mentioned, trying to iterate the plan to accommodate them and make them happy and to create a year-round destination. So, our commitment is to continue that conversation through the CAC process and try and make changes and things that would bring them in support of the project.
So you're actively still trying?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hiring, both for the construction phase and for permanent jobs. Coney Island is seeing a lot of development right now, housing, which we're happy about, but a lot of those jobs do not go to local folks. So what is your commitment to ensuring that if this were to pass and go through, that the opportunities would actually reach Coney Island residents first?
Yeah, no, you want to go?
Well, our partnership with organizations like the Regional Alliance for Small Contractors, who's done tremendous work around the airports and incorporating local residents from the airport. So we're not doing this on our own. We've gone and got and partnered with the best and the brightest around hires and workforce development to ensure that the local residents, specifically NYCHA, are included in the project, job-wise.
I would say in addition, we've partnered with local community colleges, and the goal is here, both on the construction union jobs, right? Getting tradesmen the training they need and having small subcontractors that are able to be bonded so they can do large scale projects. We partner with the K-Mike group to create a framework and a plan for how you kind of get small subcontractors capacity and bonding capacity so that they can do larger scale projects. And our goal is to meet and exceed the state mandated goals for MWB participation on the construction. And then what's more important is the career opportunities, right, in the facility, both hotel, security, gaming related, F&B related opportunities. And a big focus for us is like the biggest need in Coney Island today is the NYCHA housing that's there. And how do you penetrate that? And that's not something that anybody's been able to solve over however many years. But creating programs and partnering with local stakeholders to create those programs is something that we're ambitiously trying to accomplish.
You know, it's very difficult to go into detail here because this is a very competitive process. And so while we're submitting what our plans are, there are people watching who are also submitting plans. So I would and the team would love to go as deeply as possible on what we've done, but this is a very competitive process.
When would we see, I mean, just being honest, $200 million is peanuts to how much money you guys would stand to make. When will we see the full community benefit plan?
That will all be part of the state application. Absolutely.
Okay. Because I don't see any. I mean, I would at least need to see actual dollar signs put next to investments in NYCHA repairs, actual dollar signs next to money for gambling addiction. Like this is not going to cut it.
No, we appreciate the feedback, and we look forward to working with you
Okay.
guys through the CAC process and meeting those needs.
And can you, I guess, is the biggest, I guess the biggest changes I've seen, aside from the towers, and moving them or whatever it may be, but the biggest change I've seen in response to feedback has been how the proposal will handle an increase in traffic. Because right now, basically, West 16th Street is basically how you get into Coney Island, and it's a private street, right? Has that been the biggest area where you've made changes to the proposal?
Yeah,
We have our environmental engineer, traffic engineer from Sam Schwartz, 2 Island. COVID sex.
Yeah, changes to access have been substantial, especially over and around Stillwell Avenue, so that I think that was one of the initial iterations in the changes to the site plan to avoid the pedestrian vehicular conflict as vehicles are entering and egressing the site. Besides that, working with New York City DOT through the SEQA process, there were geometric improvements to Surf Avenue, 17th Street, and this was all within the constraints of what's doable right now. There are transit improvements that Jody presented, and that will have the maximum benefit in actually reducing the number of vehicles on the street. But within the existing constraints, the fact is a lot of the vehicles coming down to Coney Island is through Cropsey and therefore down to 17th Street. And there were geometric improvements done to improve safety and vehicle circulation at 17th and Surf Avenue in front of the site, and then signal changes throughout the area to improve traffic circulation.
I guess my last question would be, if you're not granted one of the licenses, how do you see the future of this site and the parcels that are currently owned? Actually, two questions, Peter. Number one would be if the demapping is denied, is there an alternative proposal where you would still go forward with the casino? And then if you don't win the license, if everything goes through but you don't win the license, what is the plan B?
Yeah, I would say the answer to the first question is no. From a synergy perspective in the campus, all 4 blocks need to be connected to create a viable development. And in terms of long-term plans, we'd have to reevaluate and reassess the situation, the economic viability of development. However, the challenges there. I mean, the seasonal nature of Coney Island makes it very hard to do anything other than temporary uses in terms of short-term leases on the site. And that's been the challenge over the years, and I don't see any economic driver that would change that anytime in the near future, candidly.
Okay, I want to move on because we've got a lot of testimony today. You good, Kev? Yeah.
Okay, so
That's the
just want to recognize Councilmember Vernikov. Councilmember Vernikov?
Thank you very much, Chair Riley, Chair Brennan, and it's very nice to see a lot of familiar faces here, so good morning. Although this casino is proposed to be constructed outside the boundaries of my district, I must make something abundantly clear. My constituents will absolutely be affected by its construction, and they have been extremely vocal about their opposition to this project. Our residents are rightfully concerned about increased crime, traffic congestion, lack of parking, plummeting property values, and other obvious quality of life issues that come with placing a 24/7 gambling hub blocks away from working class families. For those reasons, I vehemently oppose the Coney Island Casino, and I will continue to do everything in my power to ensure this plan does not move forward. As elected officials, our most basic duty is to represent our constituents. My interests do not align with the developers who hope to profit off the back of this neighborhood. We would be derelict in our duty as representatives if we let a flashy proposal move forward without answering the community's most basic concerns. Coney Island would certainly benefit from development, but the community deserves responsible development, not a casino that will change the community's character forever. I have made a commitment 2 months ago to vote yes on every casino outside my district, and I did just that yesterday when I voted in favor of a home rule message that would open the door to a casino in the Bronx. I also voted yes on a casino that will be built in Queens. This is not about ideology. This is about representing the will of my constituents. They have clearly stated that they don't want the Coney, and I will always stand with them. Thank you very much.
No clapping, please. Thank you. You guys are excused. Thank you so much. Council, are there any members of the public who wish to testify remotely or in person regarding this proposal?
Yes, Chair, we have approximately 40 in-person witnesses registered to testify with us and approximately 15 registered standing by online.
Thank you. For members of the public here to testify, please note that witnesses will generally be called up in panels of 4. If you are a member of the public signed up to testify on this proposal, please stand by when you hear your name being called and prepare to speak when I indicate that you may begin. Please also note that once all panelists in your group have completed their testimony, you will be excused as a group, and the next group of speakers will be introduced. Once removed, participants may continue to view the live stream broadcast of this hearing on the council's website. Members of the public will be given 2 minutes to speak. Please do not begin until the Sergeant at Arms has started the clock. Once you hear the clock has went off, please complete your remarks within 10 seconds, okay? Thank you. You will give 2 minutes to speak. You hear the clock go off, 10 seconds to wrap it up. Got it? All right. The following individuals who signed up to testify will come up soon. I will also like to make an announcement regarding the public testimony portion of this meeting. For the benefit of the viewing public and those who may be watching and waiting for a turn to testify remotely, we are going to first hear the testimony here in the room, and then we will start to take online testimony. At the point in time, we don't estimate getting to online testimony until approximately 2 p.m. As always, we will make every effort to hear testimony from everyone who has signed up, and we thank you for your patience and participation. And first, we are going to start with Randy Levine. If Mr. Levine is here, can you please approach the witness table? Where's the other ones? You may begin.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Councilman. It's great to be here with you. My name is Randy Levine. I'm the president of the New York Yankees, and I'm also a board member of Legends Hospitality, which is a partner in this venture. Let me tell you a little bit about Legends Hospitality. Legends Hospitality was started by the New York Yankees and the Dallas Cowboys about 15 years ago, and today it's one of the leading venue operators, if not the leading venue operator and hospitality company in the world. Why is that important? Because whenever we put the Yankee name to something, we insist that it's complete excellence, and we back up what we do. We got into this project. We don't know how to run casinos, and we have nothing to do with running the casinos. The partner who will run the casino is one of the experts in doing so. But we know how to manage hospitality. We know how to make big venues come alive, and we know how to do things right. And, I used to be in government for a lot of years and sit in these rooms and hear including here today, what everybody's going to do. What are we going to do? Well, the way you got to look at it is, what have you done in New York City? Have you measured up? And when you take a look at Legend's record, the answer is 100% in everything that we do. And I'm going to go through a little of it because it's going to lend, in my opinion, credibility to this. Now, I'm not here.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Is there any questions for this panel?
Oh, it's only 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes, Randy.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on to the next panel, which consists of Charlene Davis, Angela Kravichin, Urena McAhue, and Lucy Majuka Diaz. If you hear your name, please come up to the podium. Also, I will ask members of the public here in person that after you present your testimony and you are excused from your panel, if you are not leaving the hearing, please move the overflow room next door where this hearing is streaming. This will allow people to come into the room that have to testify still. And I will remind members of the public that they can always submit their testimony online at landusetestimony@council.nyc.gov for up to 72 hours after this public hearing. We'll begin first with Charlene Davis. Ms. Davis, can you just turn on that mic for me, please? And just put the mic down a little lower? Thank you. Sergeant's going to help you out.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ms. Davis. Go ahead.
My name is Charlene Davis, as you've been told. I live in Coney Island, and I'm very concerned about what's going on with the casino. I am not for the casino. And my reasoning being not for the casino is because I'm someone that's in a wheelchair that uses oxygen. I know what it's like when we have the 4th of July in Coney Island. I've had several people in that area have to have an emergency situation where the ambulance and the police department cannot get through. Coney Island does have 3 months in a year where it's very crowded, and they're stating that this casino is supposed to be something that's all year round. I'm afraid for myself to be able to travel in the area and stuff because anyone can rob me, take money from me. Even if I was to go to the casino and win some money, someone can follow me. It's not conducive. The transportation issue is also a problem. Also, with them talking about the money that they're supposed to be giving to the community, like Justin Brennan said, it's peanuts. When they're talking about speaking with the community in reference to getting jobs and stuff, they need to realize Coney Island is more than just the projects. I don't live in the projects. I live in a townhouse. I have a son who has been looking for a job, and a lot of times when you go online, they say that you must be a resident of Coney Island or NYCHA. We don't live in NYCHA. They need to speak with everyone. Even when I go to meetings and stuff and I go to panels and stuff, I don't see anybody on that panel or on their panel that look like me, that's in a wheelchair, that has to depend on oxygen, that has different things. When you're talking about putting people on a committee and stuff, you must represent everybody in that committee. Every time I go somewhere, it's like I said, I want to see someone on these committees that look like myself.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Next, we're going to hear from Angela Kravichin. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
Kravchenko.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thank you for welcoming us today and listening. So I would like to talk about the mapping aspect of this proposal. So we've been shown that the developers is asking for 2 small parts of the street, but in reality, they're taking more than that. We don't have the map, the renderings anymore, but you will see that they essentially taking West 12th Street as the access to the parking garage. That will be no way to park the car, so it goes away from the community. They're also turning Stillwell Avenue to the pedestrian street, which is good, except that's the pedestrian street that serves as an access to the beach. Now, they have to go through the casino tunnel, so that will be access to the casino, and everybody who gets off the train, which is most of the people who come into Coney Island, they going through the casino to get to the public beach. Okay, and the third one, buses. West 15 is taken for the buses. So again, community loses there as well. What else about this casino proposal? So Coney Island is a special district. It's a historical district. Historically, nothing is built higher than parachute jump. So when you see in the picture, you see the tower sticks out as high as 2 parachute jumps stacked on top of each other. That's 42-story tall hotel. Nothing as tall as this hotel exists right now in Coney Island. It's a sand. We're a flood zone. There is a reason for it. So the third thing, so when the study was done, saying that will be gridlock, because 30,000 people every day, it's a lot of people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. Next, Urena.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. I was about to speak about devastating effect of this proposal, but I believe you all, committee members, city council members, so the proposal is not only flashy picture. I believe all of you read more than 100 pages environmental impact statement proposed by the same developer, not for the public, where each and every page, where each and every word and each and every comma screams disaster. Because talking about 1,500 cars parking garage, not even talking about what they wrote themselves about more than 1,000 cars that should look for parking, it's kind of bad. I'm very happy to see former councilman Dominic Recke, because I remember very well 2009 when he was part of Coney Island rezoning, and I stood next to him advocating for rezoning. And I remember the same tour equities promising in Rose Garden for community if this rezoning approved. Nothing was done. They don't have plan B as of now. So you represent people, and you all were elected by people to represent our interests. First, please read environmental impact study, and you would really understand what kind of disaster they want to bring to Coney Island. Second, even though it's not a licensing process, but by approving demapping, you are giving them more chance to get a license. Don't let us down. Thank you.
Lucy.
Lucy Mojica Diaz. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to submit my testimony. I like to speak from my heart about the demapping of building a casino in our district, which would affect our residents. I trust that the rest of my team will give you the facts about demapping, so I will focus on emotion and community impact. First, let me say, it's disgusting that they don't have a plan B. Joe Sid has been here in this community for over 20 years. I will walk with you to show you every vacant lot that he has abandoned and has not built anything. They have given to the community free turkeys. Our council members give free turkey. Thank you very much. They have given Christmas gifts. I thank you very much. But they started that 2 years ago. 2 years ago when they wanted to start this project. So again, it is disgusting that you do not have a plan B, and I have brought that to their attention over and over again. So they will leave that vacant lot abandoned, and you can't tell me you care for the community if that's what you're telling me. in the same sentence. That's impossible. 30,000 people will enter our community every day. That's insane. Let's talk about housing. New York City housing people are not the only people residents there. I live there. I'm a homeowner. My taxes will be increased. Not tomorrow, not the next day, but they will be increased. We have seniors that will not be able to pay those increases. We have people that they told us to get the American dream. We're not able to get the American dream. As Councilmember Justin Brannon said the other day, people are moving out of New York. They're struggling in New York. You're going to abandon us and make us move out. Schools are failing in our district. 18-year-olds can enter those gambling. 18-year-olds can enter the casino and gamble. And what they're going to do tomorrow, if you're failing at school, they're going to mug that person that's walking down the street, and we're going to have more violence in our community. $200 million. That's a drop in the bucket. I pee that out if I had it, okay? Union jobs. Union jobs are going to be given everywhere, whatever casino is built. Let's be blunt. Low-income communities, and let's be honest, let me finish this sentence, please. Those, we will not I'll end it there, and I submitted my testimony online as well.
Thank you, Lucy. Just Councilmember Brandon, hold on one second. Councilmember Brandon.
Any of you guys on the panel could take it. I guess, is there something that if you saw in their proposal, or something that you feel is missing from their proposal, that if you saw it, whether it was more money or specific investments in something, is there something that, let me just finish, is there something that if you saw it, you would feel differently or you'd be more open to it? Whoever wants to answer.
Absolutely
just speak
not.
on the mic, please.
Okay, absolutely not. Because it's really inappropriate to bring casino to a already crowded residential area. You know, it's already crowded. Number one. And I commend you for speaking about opportunities and economic development in Coney Island. But it breaks my heart to hear that casino is the only opportunity for economic growth. Not incubators for businesses, not more schools, not trade school, not some job incubator. Casino, I'm really sorry, nothing can change this community mind, because casino and gambling facilities do not belong to residential area, especially middle and low income. Thank you.
Anyone else want to answer? They can.
I would like to say that Coney Island community has 50% of population living under $35,000 per year. It's like very low. I think it's like maybe one of the lowest. So, but that's category of people most susceptible to the gambling addiction. It's a big issue in our area. So I wouldn't support casino because of the gambling component to begin with. I don't think it's right for our community. We're residential, and we want to keep our family places. We want to keep our beach, our open streets for the communities, and we welcome any other economic opportunities, trade schools, right, environmental study groups, anything that could go there. Thank you.
May I respond?
Sure.
Thank you, Councilman, for allowing us to respond to your question. I don't care if they give me $1 billion, not me personally, but they give the community. Let's be realistic. They've already made it perfectly clear to you today that if they don't get this casino, they don't care about what their plan B is. $1 billion is not. It's never going to be guaranteed money. Anyone that owns a business, I don't know if any of you on the panel have owned businesses or if anyone here has owned businesses, you can never guarantee anyone that same income will be reversing over and over again. So to tell us you're giving me a one-shot deal, it clearly shows that you can, as I said, no one can guarantee that you will continue to give us resources in financial ways. Sorry. Thank you.
I would like one thing that could have been in there when they were speaking is that they could have spoke about other things that could help the community. I feel that they're being greedy because the community needs so many other things that these developers could help with getting us because they have the money to do so with. With leaving property rotting and going bad, that's showing the community right there that you don't care about us. You don't care about the community. They could reach out to you, Justin Brennan, and sit down with you, because I'm quite sure a lot of your constituents has voiced their opinions about things that we need in the community that we really could use, that everyone could use, not just adults, but kids as well, and young adults as well. I would like to see them be willing to develop things in the community that would help the community as a whole and for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I have a testimony. Where should I leave it?
Thank you. The next panel I'm going to call up consists of Melissa Gladata, Julia Danley, Deborah Carter, and James Kinnard. If you hear your name, please come up to the podium. Thank you.
Sure. Where do you want me? That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. First, we're going to hear from James Kinnard.
Good morning. I see nothing but a plus here for the community. The outreach of somebody's trying to help the community to build things and to make more jobs. Is nothing but a good thing for us. I don't see where we should not grant the application. It's nothing but it's something that we need. There's a lot of grounds over there that need development, and this neighborhood can use it. Thank you. Bye.
Whoever wants to go next.
Next, Deborah.
Sorry.
You're so used to it. Next, we're going to have Deborah Carter.
Hello. Hello, I'm Deborah Carter. I'm a resident leader of Gravesend Houses, New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA. And I want to say we are the least in the community to get anything that comes into into our community. We are the least on the totem pole. We are not called projects. We are called developments. It's a big change in our community. And I would like to say that, yes, I am for the casino. I think that we have sat down with the Coney and we have talked about bringing apprenticeship programs and talking with our community. They have been very nice to our communities. We have the opportunity to sit with them and talk with them. Now, the other ones, the other panels that was here, I didn't see them come to the board or come with us to sit down and speak. We collectively, we could have sat down and we could have talked, and we could have all talked to the community, to the Coney, and come up with great ideas. But unfortunately, we have been threatened. We have been talked about. I mean, there were so many things that have come against us because we say yes to the casino. And I will continue on saying yes to the casino. It's going to bring jobs for us. It's going to be jobs. And to sit here and say that robbery and things like that, people can go to the casino, do whatever they want to do. They have options to go in. You have an option whether you want to go gamble or you don't gamble. But it's up to you.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Next, we're going to hear from Ronald Stewart. Oh, Ms. Carter, you can sit right there. Sorry, Ms. Carter. I'm sorry, not Ronald. Julia Danley, sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Julia Danley. I'm a lifelong resident of Cary Gardens, a former resident leader. I'm an executive director to my own nonprofit organization called Gracefully Wrapped, and I'm here to say yes to the Coney. If we really look around, a lot of young people need jobs. And if you're going to be a gambler, if you're going to be an alcoholic, if you're going to do whatever, you're going to do it whether you do it in Coney Island or in Beverly Hills. Let's stop that. It's a choice. That's one. Number two, let's talk about the overhead. We've had that walkway on West A Street that was taken down. That was so nice to walk through. They could have made it over. We're going to have the opportunity to get a walk through back again. That's going to be great. Like, off the train, right into the boardwalk. You know, all of that is nice. The lights are beautiful. But the jobs, the convention center, we have an amphitheater that gives us no ample time, okay? The convention center is going to be there. Hotel, people come. Coney Island had a casino already. Like, I don't understand something that was there before. If this is the people's playground, then let's make it a real people's playground. Can never be Atlantic City. It's only one casino. We're not going to be thrown out of NYCHA development because we have a casino a few blocks away. They're not putting us out. I don't know whoever came up with that idea. I live in NYCHA. I don't want to get put out. You think I'm going to like a casino if they're going to put me out? Like, are you serious? So I've lived on both ends of the spectrum with wheelchair because I was walking until a year and a half ago, and now I'm in a wheelchair. So I've experienced both. And if they're going to rob me, they're going to rob me anyway. People do what people want to do. But the jobs are great. I talk to a lot of young people. I have a lot of young men. People don't come to these hearings because they don't want to go through the nonsense. That's what we go through. And jobs are going to be made available, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Thank you, Julia. Next, we're going to hear from... Go ahead.
Melissa?
Yeah, go ahead,
Thanks.
Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa Gliotta, and I'm here today because I believe deeply in the future of South Brooklyn, and I believe our project has the power to truly transform the Coney Island community in a way that's long overdue and profoundly deserved. For 30 years, I've proudly been a part of the Thor Equities family, a long-term stakeholder in Coney Island. Thor has believed in this community for decades, investing here when others looked away, and holding on to a vision for what this neighborhood could become. In that time, I've seen the resilience, pride, and potential of Coney Island's residents, but I've also seen the challenges, the chronic underinvestment and limited economic opportunities. What South Brooklyn needs now is a bold, lasting investment. It needs opportunity that is built to stay, to grow, and to uplift, and our development does just that. We're proposing a creation of nearly 4,500 union construction jobs and 4,000 permanent family-sustaining careers in hospitality and gaming. These aren't just jobs. They're real career pathways with strong wages, benefits, protection, and room to grow. We're prioritizing local hiring, especially for the Coney Island residents, and hosting job fairs directly in the communities that have been overlooked. We are committed to giving people a fair shot close to home, and we're equally committed to supporting small, minority, and women-owned businesses by giving them the resources that they need to thrive. In summary, with this project, we have the opportunity to revitalize Coney Island and bring year-round economic activity to a place full of history, heart, and potential. We have a once-in-a-generation chance to deliver meaningful, lasting change, and now's the time to invest where it will matter most. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. There being no questions, this panel is excused. Next, we're going to hear from Erica Yosenat, Ronald Stewart, Fanny Hernandez, and Marissa Solomon. Okay. And please remember, if you testify, can you please go over to the flow room because we have other people that need to testify and have to come sit in this room. We'll begin first with Erica, followed by Ronald, followed by Fanny, followed by Marissa.
Which one do you press?
Jenny? I didn't call Jenny. I have a Fanny Hernandez.
One here?
It's Jenny. Oh, it's probably the way it was written. Okay, sorry, Ms. Fernandez. So we're going to have Erica, followed by Ronald, followed by Jenny, followed by Marissa. Erica?
Right here?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Erica Olsenet. I am a TA president of Cary Gardens. I also sit on the board of Cary Gardens Community Center and the board for FEC Center. I'm Coney Island born and raised. I'm definitely opposed to the casino. I believe it will be a burden. Traffic-wise, it's already congested in Coney Island from the stadium, from the amphitheater. They also moved the welfare building onto Mermaid Avenue, which even made it more congested. And when there's a game in Coney Island, it'll take you 30 minutes to get from 37th Street to West 8th Street. It's congested, and it's not a good idea. Also, I believe that the crime rate will go up. We already deal with a lot of drug issues in Coney Island. I don't believe it will be a good idea, and I definitely oppose.
Yeah, thank you for taking our messages here today. My name is Ronald Stewart. I'm a lifelong member of Coney Island. My mother and a group of other mothers fought for all the housing that you see on the Western End so we can have a decent and a safe place to live. This plan, this demapping plan, it's going to be a disaster. We already, as Erica has said, we deal with congestion all the time, not just when this thing is going to be built, but every day. In fact, yesterday I couldn't get home because there were so many cars on Neptune Avenue. So it's a safety issue, and that's number one for me. I don't care if they offer us $1 billion. Safety is number one, and we have to maintain that. People call Coney Island the playground of the world. The people in my end of Coney Island, we're not playing. This is not a play thing for us. We're very serious. And they are offering our young people, I talk to our young people, and I watch some of our adults. You don't talk to them. You walk by them. You're afraid of them. They look scary to you, but I talk to them. When they see me, they say, there's Brother Ron. Put your guns away. Put your dope away. They respect me. And they want jobs, of course. But you know what more that they want? They want hope. They want a sense of a future for themselves because a job is limited. And this is why we look for the city council for economic development. We look to the city council for revitalization. That's what we support the city council and vote for them. That's what we're looking for. My great-grandson just graduated from PS 90 yesterday. He said, Grandpa, he called me Papa. He said, what I'm going to be doing soon? And I said, we're going to take care of you because we love you. So this is the thing that we're concerned about.
Hello. Okay. So good afternoon. My name is Jenny Hernandez. I am a longtime resident of Coney Island. Basically grew up here, grew up in Coney Island. It is my home as to many others. Today I'm here to ask the subcommittee of zoning and franchise to reject the demapping of our streets. Those streets belong to the people, not for predatory developers looking to line their pockets. Traffic is a major issue in Coney Island. How will emergency vehicles be able to enter or exit the area with the anticipated influx of over 23,000 visitors that will bring each day, right? What is now a seasonal threat will become a year-round threat. I suffer from several health conditions, and I am extremely concerned for my safety and that of my neighbors that live just as one block away from where this casino will be. This situation is the last thing we need. Our well-being should be top priority. Coney Island is not just a tourist site. It is a home to many families. We must prioritize the residents of Coney Island. Families first, children first, seniors first, and individuals with disability first. This demapping, along with the associated casino project, will only create chaos in our community. Really quick in Spanish, las calles de Coney Island son para el pueblo, no para los ricos. Thank you, and I hope my testimony will be taken seriously and considered.
Before you go, the next panel I'm going to call up consists of Donna McMahon, Joseph Packer, Camille Hastick, and Marie Merville Shahzada. Okay. Go ahead. That's the next panel.
Okay.
Marissa Solomon, Coney Island, born and raised. We have been told that approving the demapping for the casino would just be letting the process play out for the casino license. But let's be clear, letting the process play out would mean that the developer, Joe Sid, applies for the casino license for the property he currently owns. What you are being asked to do here today, however, is to give away, hand over for free, the public streets in Coney Island to Joe Sitt, to hand over the property that is owned by all New Yorkers so that he can replace half the current amusement area with his 40-story casino towers, taking away the streets and even the skies and sunshine from millions of everyday New Yorkers. What you are being asked to do is to expropriate and steal the value created by other existing long-term business owners and residents and put that value into the pocket of this one billionaire developer. Voting to approve the demapping would amount to a multi-million-dollar welfare payment to this multi-billionaire. Today we are submitting over 10,000 signatures on our petition against the demapping in the casino. These are people from all across Coney Island, across Brooklyn, and from every city council district in New York. Coney Island, the People's Playground, belongs to all the people of New York. It is not for the city council to just give away the public streets in Coney Island to this billionaire developer. We have been emailing and informing these thousands of New Yorkers who have signed the petition about this process and who have been voting to save Coney Island and who is voting to give it away. The members of the City Council should not give member deference on this issue. People are not going to accept the excuse of hiding behind member deference. They won't care about that. They will care and will want to know which City Council members voted to save Coney Island and who voted to give the People's Playground away. Make no mistake, Coney Island belongs to all New Yorkers. Don't erase the Coney Island that has been loved by New Yorkers for over 150 years. And in my remaining time, I live right across the street from where they want to put this. The casino developers have never once done any outreach to anybody where I live. So when they tell you that, that's a lie. They're going to people that live a mile, 2 miles away, and the people that live right across the street, they're trying to ignore us. But they're not going to be able to because we're too loud. We're from Coney Island. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Brandon.
Brother Ron, just ask a question. And you can answer, and then if anyone else wants to answer. It's the same question I asked the other panel. Are there things that you believe are missing from their proposal or things that would make you consider the proposal if you saw it, whether it was a further commitment to jobs or more money, or is there anything like that that you would say, I'm willing to listen more? Just hit your mic.
The proposal that has been presented to the community, to Coney Island, it does not efficiently and cover everything that is needed for Coney Island. You mentioned, Councilman, that $200 million is peanuts. You cannot have that. We need revitalization. As I was growing up in Coney Island, up and down Mermaid Avenue, and some of you that are sitting here, you remember when Mermaid Avenue, there were stores and mom and pop businesses. These are the things that we need. We don't need a big corporation to come in that has no plan for us if they don't get it. Those are dreams. You know, I grew up and I watched all kind of developers come here and make grand promises, unfulfilled dreams for us, and have given us nothing. That's why we're here today. So there's nothing in there, Councilman, that would change anything. I think it has to come from the people. The people of Coney Island need to sit down. I think Deborah said we need to sit down, not with casino people, not with corporations, but sit down and deal with with our representatives and put together something like they did up in northern New York and White Plains and Yonkers. They put together a enterprise zone. They didn't wait for a casino. This is what we need to do. But there's nothing in there right now that can give us that kind of hope and future.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So the way I would answer that question is, how much would you pay to build over Central Park and put a casino, or build over Prospect Park and put a casino? This area in Coney Island where the amusement area is, that's our Central Park. That's our open area. That's where the working people of this city go to. And when they say, oh, we need to make this a year-round destination, a year-round economy, where I live there year-round. The stores I shop in are year-round. It's not like we disappear in the wintertime. But with this casino, we might disappear because nobody's going to want to live next to this 24-hour-a-day casino. And if you put it there, the people who can afford to move will move away. The money they spend in local stores will move with them. Those stores will lay off people and they will close. And this is exactly what happened in Atlantic City. Atlantic City does not even have their own supermarket today. And we don't want that to happen in Coney Island. This is a residential area. There are businesses that have been there for decades. This has been an amusement area for 150 years. It's Coney Island. It is not Casino Island. And that is what it will become if you give away the public streets of our neighborhood.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to speak as a mother as well. I do not want a casino at close proximity of our children. My daughter, there's a school a block away from the potential casino site. So as a mother, I don't want this at all. I don't want this for my daughter. I don't want this for the children of Coney Island. I think the youth of Coney Island deserve more, and they deserve better than this casino is proposing.
For me, it's the congestion, as I spoke about before.
The traffic.
The traffic. It's too crowded. There's nowhere for them to go. When there's an event at that ballpark or the amphitheater, the traffic is from 37th all the way to what? It's too much.
We got 3 streets.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Can I give this is our 10,000.
Give it to the sergeant.
Thank you. Next, we're going to hear from Donna McCammon, Joseph Packer, Camille Hastick, and Marie Merville Shahzada. The following panel after that will consist of Daisy O'Malley, please, Edward Mooney, Kovici Shuryanji, and Aiden Huratain. That will be the following panel. We'll begin first with Donna, followed by Joseph, followed by Camille, followed by Marie.
Just make sure your mic's
Good afternoon. Just press the, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure being here today, just to voice my opinion. My name is Donna McCammon, and I'm a proud hospitality worker and a member of the Hotel and Gaming Trade Council. I am here on behalf of my union to testify in support of Coney. This project will transform an already iconic area into a world-class casino, create opportunities for economic development, affordable housing, and high-quality hospitality job like mine. No more now ever our city and Brooklyn especially needs an economic boost. The Coney has the potential to improve the quality of life for thousands of people who lives and work in South Brooklyn. I urge you to vote yes on this application.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joseph?
First of all, let me just say that I appreciate the Coney, because Coney has been honest brokers in this process, and productive listeners. So I just want to get that out the way. I'm going to read my statement real quick. As a lifelong resident of Coney Island and an active community advocate for over 5 decades, I am compelled to express my enthusiastic support for the Coney project. This transformative initiative holds immense promise for our community, offering a myriad of benefits that are urgently needed. Coney Island faces significant challenges, from traffic congestion during the summer months to an aging infrastructure that requires immediate attention. These issues have long hindered our community's potential for growth and prosperity. The Coney project presents a crucial opportunity to address these challenges head-on with substantial private investment. The project projected billions of dollars in private funding will not only revitalize our infrastructure, including roads, our boardwalk, the bridges, subways, and ferries, but also create a wealth of job opportunities and job training programs tailored for local residents. This infusion of resources will breathe new life into our economy, providing much-needed support for our community-based organizations and enhancing social service that are vital to our residents. Furthermore, the investment in public education, which I am a teacher, after-school programs, and scholarships for college will empower our youth and prepare them for successful futures. As someone who has witnessed the struggles and aspirations of our community firsthand, I firmly believe that these investments are essential for our long-term growth and prosperity. In conclusion, the Coney Island project is not just an opportunity, but a lifeline for Coney Island. It represents a collaborative effort between private investors and our community to create substantial growth. improve quality of life, and foster a brighter future for generations to come. I urge all stakeholders to support this transformative initiative for the betterment of Coney Island, its residents, Brooklyn, New York City, and the state at large.
Good afternoon, Chair Riley and Councilmember Brandon, Corporate Counsel, and all the other members. My name is Camille Hastic, Vice President of External Affairs and Government Relations at the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. I am here on behalf of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce to provide testimony in support of the proposed project. The project will revitalize the once bustling economic engine in Brooklyn, Coney Island. It will be a 1.4 square foot entertainment complex, thoughtfully designed to echo Coney Island's historic charm, with 500 hotel rooms, 20 restaurants, a spa, fitness center, retail, recreation, and entertainment spaces. Located at the corner of Surf and Stillwell Avenues, directly across the street from the Coney Island Stillwell Avenue subway station. The Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce supports the proposed casino and entertainment complex in Coney Island. This project would guarantee significant investment in Coney Island and address things the community has been waiting for, including a year-round economy that creates not just jobs, but careers. Residents would have access to job training and access to union jobs with a living wage and benefits. This mixed-use project will not only provide for employment in gaming industry, but will, with the inclusion of a world-class hotel, an indoor entertainment venue, and additional retail, there will be multiple career opportunities for residents to access. The project itself will serve as a complement to already successful seasonal entertainment district and provide significant multiplier impact year-round. The Coney has also promised to establish a $200 million community trust that will be locally led to fund projects important to Coney Island. This project is a major game changer for Brooklyn. When we talk to our members, we hear repeatedly how important big anchor projects are to the entire local business community. Injecting thousands upon thousands of jobs and billions of dollars of investment into a community like Coney Island is exactly what we need now when the economy feels stagnant. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Coney Island is a neighborhood that has been overlooked and under-resourced for far too long. Our community desperately needs job training opportunities, youth and senior programs, and economic initiatives that will sustain local businesses, especially along Mermaid Avenue, where shops struggle to keep their doors open from September to May during the low peak season. Chairman, you had recently asked about improving conditions for local businesses. As a business owner and as a person who has family business on Mermaid Avenue, I can tell you, when the Boardwalk or Surf Avenue has events, we do well. So this project is a project of this scale would only multiply those opportunities for local entrepreneurs and storefronts. As an executive director of Al Fadila Community Services, I have personally witnessed the Coney's commitment to Coney Island. Their team has supported our organization and families we serve in countless ways, partnering with us with the Blue Bucket Trick or Treat event for children with autism, donating tablets to Cary Gardens Cornerstone, thanks to the advocacy of their former TA president, Julia Danley, supporting volleyball programs for teenage girls and older women at 288 Heartshare, backing our women empowerment initiatives, working directly with small women business owners, leaders, and advocates to help them grow and build capacity. My biggest issue with this community, that the naysayers, Coney Island is changing. There are developments building up all over Coney Island. Nobody says anything about them. And those developments have nothing to offer Coney Island. One bedroom apartment is $3,100. Do you think anyone in Coney Island can afford that? But yet none of these people are complaining about that. So, thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
We wanted questions.
I want to know where you got that zip up, man. That's dope.
Next, we're going to hear from Daisy O'Malley, Edward Muni, Kovici, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name, Shirin Yaniki, and Aiden Hurutian. We'll start with you, Mr. Shirayanagi.
Sure. Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
All right. So first of all, for the council member who's on the Zoom, Francesco Moya, I am an alum of working for Congressman Brad Sherman, and Francesco Moya is as well. And so, you know, it's good to be addressing a body that includes an alum from Shermania. I am a dad, and I live on West 15th and Mermaid, right a block away from the proposed site of the casino. And I want to say that what you did not hear from the casino developer's presentation is what happens to the traffic overflow. When you approve this street demapping, what happens to the traffic overflow? Where do all the cars go? Because they say in their documents that they have they're building 1,500 parking spaces, and they're going to in times when their parking lot isn't full, they're going to give businesses an ability to use their parking lot as some kind of community benefit. What they don't say is in their presentation is that in their document they say that they're going to bring, at least at the peak time, they're going to bring 2,500 vehicles to the neighborhood. So where do the other 1,000 vehicles go? They're going to be driving around the neighborhood looking for parking, because there's no parking as it is in our neighborhood. And I'm a father. I have a 7-year-old son, and every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, my son has to get to school. My son, I trust a contractor with the DOE to drive my son to school, and I trust a contractor of the DOE to drive my son home. And when you have a development like this that's going to bring 1,000 cars, that's what my question is.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Edward. Edward Muni. Do we have an Edward Muni? Okay. Next we'll hear from Daisy.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I'm Daisy O'Malley. I've been living here since 1977. And yeah, I know what most of you think. I don't look my age. How many of you have actually physically been to a resort out in Queens? Now, you know for a fact that you have to walk in either direction away from the casino to get to either the Burger King or the Dunkin' Donuts. As for that skywalk that's there, oh yeah. If you're coming from the train in the right direction, you get the skywalk. If you're coming from the train in the other direction, you're walking across that parking lot in all kinds of weather. So, been there, done that, which is why resorts ended up losing a comic book convention because it was too hard to get to and there was no food. And even though it was a minor convention, we still got people. They said enough's enough. We're going back to Manhattan where there's more room and about 15 trains. Speaking of trains, D and FQ are always rerouted no matter what time of year. It's going to be a miracle that we're going to have an express, quote-unquote express, into Coney Island on Mermaid Parade Day. Who got the idea that we're only 3 months a year? No, we go 24/7, 365, especially during the polar bear plunge, especially on New Year's Eve if we have fireworks, especially if the hot dog contest, the mermaid parade, you name it, we have it. Fireworks every week, every Saturday, starting like in a week and a half. We don't stop. And as far as Mermaid Avenue, walk down there now. So many places have gone out of business, including Major Meats. They were forced to give up their lease. There's nothing there. So what are we actually bringing? Because resorts is automated. You don't get blackjack dealers, you don't get pit bosses, and you don't get cocktail waitresses. What's left?
Next we'll hear from Aiden.
Hi, Council. Good afternoon. My name is Aiden Harushian. I'm 19 years old, and I am a resident of both Brooklyn and New York City. I'd like to state very plainly, this plan is not out of the prosperity or culture for Coney Island. This is a betrayal of the community, and it's born of greed. I don't think anything else will show how vile this plan is than Thor Equities standing outside this very building this morning to show support for the development plan by paying people, but I'll try anyway. Everyone here knows that Coney Island is the beating heart of leisure and love in New York. It is a place that is woven into this city's identity since the 1900s. We are told today that this heritage will be bulldozed for the predatory silence of casinos. The developers, Thor Equities, and its constituents promise prosperity, but their vision will erase Coney Island's legacy. The Coney, which no one has been courageous enough to mention exactly by name today, is a Trojan horse. The research shows that urban casinos' economic benefits are short-lived and that social costs far outweigh tax contributions. I have to skip through a whole bunch of stuff here. I'd like to call you out specifically, Mr. Brannon, who you once stood firmly against the casino. Your constituents on Community Board 13 have already rejected it, and you are now saying you want to let this process play out. You are signaling that lobbyist whispers are more important than the community's voices. To use the People's Playground moniker when referring to our beautiful Coney Island, while these developers clearly state both your and council members Riley's names in thanks at this meeting, suggests that you believe we are stupid. We are not. We will not be gaslit by the corporate entities who intend to buy you. For the Brooklyn Borough's president's office, you cannot demand a bigger investment from a project that will be a fundamental cancer on this community's well-being. To Thor Equities and its correspondents, I'd like to firmly state that coming to this meeting without any actual data to support the monetary and social value you've brought to my community is insulting. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have an Edward Mooney here? Or Edward? Edward? Okay.
No questions?
Thank you so much for your testimony. And I just want to state for the record, nobody on this panel is bought. This is a process, and we have to hear everybody in the community out. There are people here on both sides supporting the project and opposing the project, and we want to make sure that everyone's voices is heard.
And you can gladly roll the tape back and see that I said it was suggested, and I never said anyone actually did anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden.
No questions?
Next, we're going to call for Charles Safo, Angel Alvarado, Dominique Rechia, and Marion Kennedy. Oh, excuse me, former council member Dominic Rechia. Nice to meet you, sir. We'll begin with former council member Dominic Rechia. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, go forward. You all right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sit down, Mr.
You may begin.
Thank you, Councilman Riley and Councilman Brandon, for the opportunity to speak today. I'm the former councilman from Coney Island. I speak to you today about the request for a map change and the opportunity we have to build an entertainment complex and district in Coney Island. Coney Island emerged as the world-renowned, one-of-a-kind amusement destination back in the mid-19th century at a time when it was the world's greatest playground with an amusement which included Luna Park, Dreamland, Steeplechase Park, and casinos, a racetrack, 6 bathhouses, carousels, business, and renting rides. In 2009, myself, as City Council member, Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and the Economic Development Corporation and Borough President Marty Markowitz decided to revitalize Coney Island. The process voted on the complete, and it was completed in 2009. The process ended with rezoning of Coney Island. However, our goal was to see hotels, entertainment for one-of-a-kind, and entertainment complex to be built someday with a year-round destination. Now our dream could come true with your support for this rezoning and an opportunity to alter in dramatic, positive ways the lives of Coney Island residents, over 50,000, and millions of visitors to flock to this area, to the world's greatest playground. Coney Island, we must make it a year-round urban amusement and entertainment destination while building upon the prime beachfront. The development of the entertainment district will enhance retail opportunities and the needs for 10,000 businesses to grow. I just want to address some of the things that were said here today. First of all, people said they were talking about people only make low wages. We're going to give jobs an opportunity to local residents first to apply for those jobs. So we are addressing the opportunity to increase their pay, increase to make more money with good paying jobs with benefits. In addition, you hear them say our property values are going down, right? But then you had Lucy saying her taxes are going up. Taxes on property only go up one way, when the property values go up. So you can't have it both ways. 1 minute the property value is going down, next minute you testify that her taxes are going up, the property tax. Yes, because your property value is going up. That's what this is all about. Or everyone, majority of people today who testify against this in 2009 testified, picketed in front of my house against the Coney Island rezoning. But I stood up to the plate because I knew what was for the best interest of the community. And look at it today. It's growing, prospering. Millions of people are coming. There are job opportunities, and it's growing. And look at all the affordable housing. The latest affordable housing is going up over 40% affordable.
You can wrap it up, council member.
Development. I just had to address some of this. And when they talk about other properties that weren't being able to
wrap it up, please.
Well, we had an opportunity to bring in movie and theaters and other complexes,
Thank
and
you.
the community said no, and we listened to the community.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Councilman. Thank you. Mallory Kennedy is my name. I've been a resident of Coney Island for 80 years. I have been on the local planning board, 60th Precinct Council, and a number of other organizations. I have attended meetings. I am well known in the community because of one thing. When I was out there, I treated people of all races fairly and honestly. I think it's a cheap insult to our intelligence by not thinking that Coney Island residents know what they want. We need employment. We need safe streets. We need programs for our youth. We need programs for our seniors. We need decent housing. But we all need this by going and working ourselves as one unit. It is imperative that we put forth this project of casino, and I don't like to just say casino gambling. There are hotels, that's minority contractors coming in. There is employment, that's employment for young people to get a job and a hopeful better future. And if you don't have anything else in mind, you have nothing else to go off your community. It is imperative that you vote yes for this particular project. And it's just not for casinos, it's for affordable housing, it's for entrepreneurships, it's for safer streets, and you have a precinct out here doing a hell of a job than when I grew up. Thank you for the time and pleasure of me speaking with y'all.
Angel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Councilman Brennan, how are you, sir? I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Riley.
Chairman Riley, how are you? I've been raised, and I was born and raised in Harlem. When I was 5 years old, the first place that my parents brought me to was Coney Island. All six of us. The first place that I visited was the Freak Show house, where they have all these crazy people's faces and all that. And I have pictures to prove it. 5 years old, I was underneath one of those pictures, all my family. And I never stopped coming here. I like it for a reason that a lot of people say the negatives, but what about the positives about Coney Island? Why do you keep coming here? And when they put that casino up, which we will, it's going to be a lot more better. A lot of more youth will come and say, I want to get a job. And the only place that you can get a career is in a casino. You'll be there forever working. And yes, try it, you'll see. I'm retired. I retired 14 years ago, and I wish I would have kept on working, but I retired. And the thing about it is that when the casino is built, more stores, more properties will flourish, more revenue will come into the community, into Coney Island. Thank you so much.
Charles.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Charles Safo. I'm a proud member of the Hotel and Gaming Trade Council and a resident of Brooklyn. I'm here with other members on behalf of our union to testify in support of the Coney project. The Coney is committed to giving back to the community, and this project will be a win not just for residents, but for all New Yorkers. The hotel and casino will create thousands of much-needed good-paying jobs with benefit while creating new homes. This is once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to help New Yorkers who need jobs and housing. And I urge you to vote yes. Our elders always tell us that in life, there's any advantage have a disadvantage, and any disadvantage have an advantage. So we should look about the advantage in it, and then through the good services, the council members should vote yes on this project. Of course, many will dispute about it. Some will like it, some will not like it. But we have to focus the benefit in it and let it begin so that people could get job to do. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. You guys are excused. Next, we'll hear from Pearl